Roadhouse.
That's right, Roadhouse. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, wherever you might be watching us from YouTube or Facebook. We're thankfully. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of stumbling over myself. Have a little bit of a summer cold, so excuse me if you hear me crackling like a 14-year-old Peter Brady. For those of you who are young enough or old enough to know who Peter Brady is, but we're thankful you stopped by Game Closet's Video Vault live show, talking about popular culture, Hollywood, and our favorite movies. Hopefully, with a few laughs, and maybe the laughs are going to be on me because, as you know, it's a cheap basement show. Even though I'm not in my mom's basement. So how's it going, everybody? You've caught me red-handed with a smile on my face. I'll just put it up there. I'm Dr. Scott, your silly yet beautiful mad scientist, and I'm eager to bring on our friends so we can talk about Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
That's right, Peter. Roadhouse. So let's first say hello to the finest voice in Ohio. He loves PlayStation more than anyone that I know. It, of course, is Johnny Graphics. Hello, John.
How's it going? I didn't know. I love PlayStation more than anyone else you know. I didn't know I was at the top of that list.
I believe you are. I don't know anyone who just is so enthused about. I mean, I love PlayStation, but I think you would beat me out any day. You probably have more actual PlayStation 1 games than I actually own. Maybe
probably, like statistically speaking, that's likely to be true. But I'll wear that badge. That works for me.
We'll make you just a little pin. We'll give it to you next time we see it.
Okay.
Well, secondly, we have Beantown's man with the laughs. Here is Technish, a.k.a. Gene from Caps Off Gaming. Hi, Gene.
What's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? It's raining at the Bean right now.
Is it?
It's good, all right? Because it's been hot and everything, so...
Well, it was a little hot, but very rainy here yesterday, so, I'm just happy to be chilling here inside. Thirdly, he's staying cool in Texas in the game house. I know he has that place, just nice and chill, so he can just sit back and relax. We've got Retro Rob.
It's very chill.
Very, very chill. Yes, and finally, all the way from Great Britain, the Hooniverse's best host on YouTube's The Spacebook and Type 40 Live. It's Birmingham's King of the Geeks, our friend Dan Hadley.
I'm not sure if that sounds sillier when somebody else says it or when I say it, but thanks for the introduction, Scott. Nice to meet you all.
I'm so glad to, I'm just so glad to have you on, and I have a question because, I'd mentioned to you, hey, we're going to be doing this movie, we'll do that movie, and, you've been very busy, and of course, congratulations on your 100th episode of Type 40, and I love the extravaganza you guys did. That was a lot of fun.
I'm still recovering from it, Scott.
I'll bet. And I saw, and of course, all the pictures you guys took and the get-together, and a lot of you had never even met before, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, some of us. But there were no barroom brawls, though, so I'm hoping to load up on that this time with you guys.
But my question to you is, out of all the films that I mentioned, what made you gravitate to this one? You were like, yeah, I got to do that one. I'm just curious.
Because I haven't seen it in a long, long time.
Okay.
I hadn't watched it in a long time, and I needed to go back to my happy place of the 1980s, the late 80s. It is a particular sweet spot, I think. We've got a thumb up on the top, yeah. And I thought if there's one person who's going to be great to talk about this with, it's going to be Scott. Oh. And you're a very cool guy, so I know that any friends of yours are also going to be cool guys. So I couldn't really lose, could I?
I appreciate the compliment, but I think that maybe Henry Winkler may not think I'm as cool as you think I am. So, because of course the Fonz is cool. So, but thank you, Dan. Thank you. But
thanks
Gene,
for having me.
Gene has never seen the movie until this week. So
I saw it yesterday.
Yeah,
and then I wanna harken off or piggyback off of Dan. Is that like I was watching it with the Wiz, aka my partner, girlfriend, wife to be eventually. You know what I mean? And like we're around the same age. I'm 45. She's 40. She's 42. So it like that. You know how like you watch a movie and you have that visual like patina, if I can say that, of just like you're watching it and like, yeah, that's the 80s. I mean, the fidelity of the movie, stuff like
Yeah.
that, or just like the just like scenario stuff like that. Like we were even laughing about like how like in the 80s, like there was no like child supervision. Like kids could go like across
Oh yeah.
go across country trips. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go on a Greyhound and just go across the country. And then like no one questions it. Like no one questions it and everything, right? You
Jimmy's
won't
just
see
out in the backyard
movies like
playing.
this nowadays, yo. You won't. Like you will not, yo. So like with that, even though I never really watched through Roadhouse like fully until yesterday and everything, like I was like, oh yeah, that's that type of movie. Yup. Yeah.
Well, I had told him when he's like, oh, I'd never seen it before, and I said, oh, it's a great film. It's just a bunch of hillbillies in a bar beating each other up, and he's like, okay, we'll check it out. So,
Sold.
okay, we're good.
Well, they're Midwest hillbillies, though. There's a difference.
Yes,
True.
I know,
It is.
'cause-
That is a very specific type of hillbilly.
Yeah.
Yes.
because my parents were actual hillbillies from West Virginia, so I know the
Yeah.
difference. Yeah, I know.
Same.
I have some
Don't
stories about
insult the
West
state of
Virginia.
Missouri, Scott.
Oh no, I know. They'll come after me, and we love you guys if you're watching. I mean, all one of you who are watching, we love you. So,
Yes. All one Missourians.
Yeah.
but without any further ado, Roadhouse starts out with Frank Tillman. Did anybody remember that his name was Frank? I mean, I was like, what? I had to back it up. I'm like, yep, he says it at the beginning of the movie, and that's it. It doesn't even tell you on IMDb that his name is Frank Tillman. It just says Tillman. I'm like, okay, he's Tillman.
Yep.
But he's owner of the Double Deuce, and that has a double meaning. I did not realize that until Rob pointed it out to me. But we won't go any further with that unless you'd like to. But it's the Double Deuce nightclub.
It's
And
very
he's-
fitting for what the state of that place at the beginning there.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
definitely a
Basically
Double
throughout the whole
Deuce.
movie, honestly.
He's coming to clean up a shit house. Just say it.
A double shit house.
That is it. That is it. He's but he's looking for someone to clean up this shit house, a new king of the bar bouncers, if you will. And he goes to the talented cooler by the name of Dalton. And well,
Just Dalton.
just Dalton. He doesn't have
That's it.
any other name besides just
That's
Dalton.
it.
There
Yeah.
you go. Hold on. Let's find the comments here, and so that way we can see Dan.
Yeah, it looks
there.
like
There we go.
Resi's on and Retro Trade.
Yeah,
Alright,
we'll
so,
I'll
yeah.
pop over into the in the chat here in a couple minutes and say hi to everybody.
Scott, I've been just like as soon as a chat, some pops up, like I throw it on.
Okay.
I've been doing, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if just if you could pop it off real quick, so that way we make sure we see everybody. That's great. So that way we can see. everybody.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. See, Dan, like we were saying before, I have a second set of hands. I love that. So, but he's of course played by the late great Patrick Swayze, and he's there to stop the riffraff from tearing up the bar all the way to pieces, and on a nightly basis. So that way Frank Tillman can remodel the Double Deuce and get a better class of clientele patronizing his club. Because as he said in the movie, of course, he came into a little bit of money and he wants to make a better life for himself. So, I completely agree with that. Shovel out the shit and get in some cool people, and that's great. And of course there is Mr. Tillman himself. So, but Dalton is an exceptional bar bouncer. He's got skills. And there are some action-packed moments and iconic fight scenes in the movie. Now, Rob, were there any fight scenes or action sequences that left an impression on you?
Yeah, it's gonna be the one where what's his name showed up. His what's that guy's name?
Wade Garrett.
Wade Garrett.
No, the cowboy guy.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
Sam Elliott.
when
Well,
Sam
that's-
Elliott.
Yeah, the
that was his
caretaker
character's
from
name,
Ghost
right?
Rider.
That's
Yeah.
just that's the actor's name. I don't know the character's name. I forget. But
I
his
know, yeah, the actor's name.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyways, when he showed up and they just immediately start going in the ass whooping mode before they even reconnect. You know what I mean? Then they talk afterwards. Then they're like, "Hey, how have you been?" kind of a thing. That was pretty good.
yeah.
Okay, Dan, any particular scene that jumps out to you there?
In the entire thing, the fight scenes, probably that one. Yeah, I mean that one's the one. That's the one that we're waiting for, isn't it? Because as soon as you hear it, you see him talking on the phone to Sam Elliott's character. they wouldn't put an actor of this notoriety in a film like this and not bring him in proper. So once they're both going mano a mano, and particularly him when he's going against that huge bloke. I just think this is brilliant. I mean, I love how Patrick Swayze moves in this. He's very, very lean, isn't he? And it's almost, I think there's a bit of a hangover here and allusions to Bruce Lee in his physicality, but it's still very rough and tough, isn't it? You can see that when he's practicing his sort of, it's kind of like kung fu, isn't it? It's yoga. Tai Chi. I'm showing my ignorance here, Gene. Yeah, so when he's doing all that on the riverbank, you pieced all together the kind of fighter that he is, and so he's not as much of a blunt instrument, to quote the James Bond films, as Wade is, and that's the joy, I think, when you see them brought together like that. But any moment where it kicks off in this, it's awesome. That's one of the only flaws in this film. I don't think there's enough people getting beaten up. I wanted more and more of it.
I never thought of that before. That is true. You get to see a couple of decent scenes, and that's it. But it's like when
it happens, when it kicks off, it's absolutely fantastic. But and it's right that there be other things in the mix there. But obviously, when I first saw this not long after it first came out, and you, as a teenager, you see this, and it's so visceral and it's so brutal in places that it really sticks with you. And so in the years in between, you think there's a lot more fighting in it than there actually is. But they've got some good actors in this, so quite rightly the actors are going to want to do other things, aren't they? They're going to want to show that they can actually act.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring it up because I didn't see this movie until years later. And when I finally did see it, I was like, where's this movie been for the last 10 years, however long had it been since it had been out? And I must have watched it for like every single day for like a week straight. And the only other movie I ever did that with was American Psycho. So there's my wife at that time, my girlfriend, and we were living together at the time. She gets home from work, and it must have been the third day I had owned the American Psycho, and she's like, "Oh God, you're watching it again." And I'm like, I did the same thing with Roadhouse. Where's this movie been my whole life?
Well, I think, in fairness, I think that it looks like if you go to the when you're in the 1990s, for example, when we were going to Blockbuster and other places to rent out tapes, you saw this. If you hadn't seen it, you'd think, oh, it's just another schlocky B movie where the guy from Dirty Dancing pretends he's a hard man. And you'd think, I'll go for, and you think I'll have anything, but there was always something you'd want to rent before. So I can see why somebody would maybe not have seen this, because there'd always be something else. But so I think I saw this when I first bought this DVD, which would be about 15 years ago, but before that I hadn't seen it in a long time either, and I always forget how good it is. And this time, being of greater age now, I think I'm coming up to the age that Patrick Swayze was, where he died at 57, didn't he? So I'm getting up there. So I'm thinking, oh God, this guy, he was like 30 odd when he made this. Yeah, put it into perspective.
It was a sequel to Dirty Dancing, wasn't it?
It was a sequel.
No,
my little sister used to watch that movie all the time.
Actually, there was a sequel to Roadhouse as well.
There was.
Was there really?
Yes.
If this was a sequel to Dirty Dancing, what do you think it would be called?
Oh my God!
Nobody puts Wade in the corner.
I don't even.
I couldn't imagine a title for a sequel. I don't even know.
The Reckoning.
About Fancy Fisting.
Fancy Fisting. that could be an adult title too. So we got.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
Yikes.
Well, Dalton, he has a unique philosophy, of course, when it comes to handling rowdy patrons and maintaining order in bars. Now, John, what are your thoughts on Dalton's approach? Because it's not like who was it? The wrestler who was in the movie. Can't remember his name right offhand. Terry Funk, who played Morgan. He just beats somebody up, throws him into a bunch of other patrons, and says, "Get him out of the bar." But Dalton's a little different. So, what do you think about his style?
Is Morgan the guy that he fires for not having the right
time? He fires Morgan because he's reckless.
Yeah. Which he, I guess, correct to do, but also like that was like that would be like your plan B dude. You would think you'd want to keep him like in the wings or whatever. But anyway, I guess the what was the question? Were you saying what I think about his style?
Yeah, what do you think about his approach to maintaining the bar?
The be nice thing, and that's part of. I liked it because he's right. You know, if you are going to really change the scene of something like that, you have to project a sense of calmness and order, and and the people underneath you, lead by example. In theory, might not always work, but that is what you want to do. And that's part of what I was going to say. That kind of leads me into my point about like the movie overall, is that I've always thought of it as kind of almost like a RoboCop type movie, which is, of course, RoboCop wasn't the first to do its sort of thing, where it's like, oh, there's this place that's in trouble. It sucks. Everything's messed up. We need this, exceptionally powerful figure to come in and clean it up. Oh, and the people that put him in place aren't all what they seem to be. And those are like the three elements. And Dan made a real good point that I hadn't really thought about. It's really, you could compare it to RoboCop, but it's also really comparable to a Bruce Lee movie. It's very much like, it's almost like Fists of Fury or something, where it's like he's holding back as much as he can, but when it's time to not be nice, your head goes through a table, and it's be
like water.
Be like water. Yeah, you put water in the glass, and the water becomes the glass. Exactly.
Chinese Connection was like that too, because Bruce Lee was just minding his own business most of that movie, and then everywhere he went to, people just started messing with him.
It's the world that sucks,
right?
And he's just simply responding to it. You know. But yeah, I like the style, and that's what makes him a compelling character, because he's the one guy who's not just immediately gonna pile drive somebody for this, for the immediate infraction. He gives you a chance to course correct, and then he politely escorts you out. You get every chance possible to do the right thing and turn it around. And at the end of the road, if you push him to that limit, you're going to be sorry. And that's the whole core of what makes him a compelling character.
Can I interject real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, from watching, like, from reading over, like, the profile for the movie and everything like that, like, the summary and everything, Dalton was a PhD. He was a PhD student, and he studied philosophy,
right,
and everything like that, right?
He's sage.
I think the biggest thing is the reverse psychology. Like, I don't know if y'all have been. Well, I'm pretty sure all of us been in some type of fight, some type of altercation, and everything like that. And when
every
you
day
don't react the way that your antagonist is coming at you, then they're confused.
Right.
They're confused.
Yeah.
And their knee-jerk reaction is like disabled. And then at that point, then now you can maneuver and then do your own thing, like right after that. You know what I mean? So I think Dalton did a lot of that reverse psychology. Like, until it got to a point where, I'm dealing with somebody that is, his forebrain didn't grow in all the way, so that now I'm gonna have to push his forebrain in the back of his head, and then that's the end result at that point. So yeah, I just want to put that out there.
Right. The philosophy degree fits perfectly in with the whole be nice thing, like you said.
Yeah.
Because it's disrupting the flow of what the other person's given to you, like you said.
Right. Exactly. Be like water.
Well, the cold that I have is taking over my tongue. Excuse me. I have to take some cough medicine or something. I don't know. Maybe that'll.
You're a doctor. You should get it figured out.
One cannot diagnose oneself.
Oh wow! Here we go. Another philosophy.
Don't look at that.
Yeah, but mine's I have it here somewhere. My fake PhD. It's fake. It's not real. But it does, he does have that Zen-like nature, and of course when this lovely gentleman sees him, kind of.
Oh, this guy,
so the guy that tortures old farmers with his helicopter.
Yeah, Brad Westley.
Gosh.
When he sees Dalton out in the back, kind of, doing his thing, and I don't know what you would, meditating, practicing. I don't know what you would call that. I took tuxedo, but I never went out in the backyard in front of a bunch of horses and did that. But
Different strokes, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds like an adult movie too. But anyway,
It,
but he does have that Zen-like approach to contributing, to the way he does things, because I thought it was really cool how the very first opportunity after he got some of the, the other bouncers out of the bar that he didn't want, and of course the drug dealing waitress, there he is on his first, presumably his first night, and that one lady gets up on the table and starts dancing, and and he's just like, hey, get her down. So the guy goes up there and he's just like, hey pal, let's get her. He's like, no, let her dance. And then the next thing he's beating up on, on his bouncer, and then Dalton has to step in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he was like, he wasn't micromanaging. He's sitting there, keeping an eye on things, making,
right.
He knows
waited for the knife to come out, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
waited for the knife to come out. Then it's just like, okay, now it's time to not be nice.
Right.
So, now the Double Deuce, of course, the bar Dalton is hired to clean up, the double shit can. Dan, how does he how does the transformation of the bar itself from this, really cruddy nightmare?
I love the fact that the band are in a cage as well.
That's the chicken wire so that they don't get hit with glass.
Well, the first thing I thought of was the Blues Brothers.
Wild.
Yeah.
That was wild. Yeah.
How does the transformation of the bar reflect Dalton's character development throughout the film?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this film isn't what you would call particularly layered. And I wouldn't go so far as to say there were lots of metaphors in it. But it is quite simple in how it juxtaposes things. Things change all around you while you're watching the characters. Things change in the set, just little subtle things here and there, and you gradually see the place come to life until there's that big reveal of the outside of it with the iconic neon light of the Double Deuce. So it happens very, very gradually, and I think it happens as people there start to. I think the feeling is that people go from, okay, who's that stranger who's dressing like Don Johnson stood at the bar, to, okay, he's in, it's safer, it's a more relaxed environment, and that happens bit by bit by bit. And I look every time the lead singer, the guitarist, the blind guy, every time he speaks, I can't remember the things that he says, like, that's Dalton, you've got to watch out now. This is going to get real now. And it's little markers like that all the way through. It was certainly through the first half of the film.
Well, he's
Dalton says so little in a lot of it. In a lot of the altercations, he says very, very little. But everything that he does say is very, very clear, very considered. And I won't go so far as to say it's a particularly deep character, but Swayze plays him totally straight. And let's face it, this is quite a ridiculous film on the surface of it. He plays it completely straight, and so you do get invested in it. And when it kicks off and those moments come that we do, particularly as blokes, we love all that stuff as guys when it starts kicking off. But there's something else to get your teeth stuck into as well. And as you said, John, it has been done. It's been done many, many times before. And I hadn't thought of that. You're right about RoboCop as well. But there's lots of things. There's a film, The Last Stand, and all movies like there's loads of them. There's one with Johnny Knoxville. Yeah. I think it's riffing on almost like folklore and westerns as well. I think there's a lot of the westerns.
That's a really good point. Dan, that's a really good point. The folklore, yeah. I just wanted to say how. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Well, maybe go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so whilst I don't think it's very complicated, you can't look too deep and meaningfully at this. I think it says a lot. I think it's got something to say about masculinity, not the kind of masculinity that people try and villainize in 2023, but proper masculinity, and the things that are worth standing up for and for fighting for, and a place we get to in our lives where we understand who we are. And it's only, I think, when we understand who we are as people, what makes us tick, what we really want out of life, that you can perhaps affect change in others, change their environment and things like that. And it's a really, really fascinating character there, Dalton. I'm not surprised that Swayze jumped on this.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense for him because he is that type of masculinity where it's like, well, you don't expect it necessarily.
He wasn't a conventional action hero, was he, Johnny?
He is, but only when it's necessary, and not a moment before. And there's no showboating. There's nothing other than what is absolutely necessary. Other than that, he's chilling. And that's that's what I would consider to be positive. That's positive masculinity. That's helpful in society. Whereas someone like Morgan, or even the bad guy, that's the type of masculinity you want to avoid, right? Which he outlines as in the movie, and what is kind of shown to us, in a broader way, just.
Because on the surface of it, the guy who's got the town, who's running the protection rackets, what's the character's name?
Oh, Brad Westley.
Yeah, on the surface of it, he's got it all together. He sort of achieved what people, particularly in the 80s, come to think of it, what we were told we should aspire to, and yet he's a piece of S.
He's a gangster. Yeah. He's a gangster.
He's lost his wife. He's lost. He's got. People don't respect him. They just fear him. And you think, okay, what would you prefer? Because clearly that man wouldn't have started out like that. Something would have taken him there. Clearly she married him as well at some point. So there must have been something about him, because she's the Doc, as he calls her, as he calls her throughout the film. Doc wouldn't have married him if he'd have been the guy we're presented with at the start of this movie. So something took him to that place, and that's interesting as well.
And then even when Dalton is like talking to the doc, after the hospital and everything like that, they even go out. She sees him like beating the crap out of a bunch of people outside, and everything. Like he she's aroused. This is 1980s. This is a man. This is a man that knows how to protect himself and everything like that. But Dalton wasn't even quick to hop into bed with her and everything like that. And granted, we got the movie time, wherever time, space, but then you gotta think about space between. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. The time, space in between that. They probably talked, hung out. She probably been to the bar and everything like that. But he didn't make moves in it. It's when she wore the white, which me and my girlfriend was talking about, was just oh, she got the white on. Oh, it's about to happen now.
That's the flag.
It's about to happen now.
The landing strip lights are on, gentlemen.
She hung out with him long enough to change her hair this.
Oh, just start, whoever. She got the white on, so it's okay, it's about to happen now. It's about to happen.
Yeah.
But I feel
was that code in the 80s if they wore white? Then
hey,
it might have been a cocaine thing.
Was it after Labor Day too?
Yeah.
A cocaine thing.
Coke culture.
Maybe the proper sequel to this movie would have been Dalton gets killed at the end, and then the next movie is Robo House, so he comes back as.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I would have gone to see that movie in 5 minutes. We should do that now.
Make it. I'm down. Put CG him into the movie and do it.
I don't think that Patrick Swayze's wife would mind at all. So
no, give her a big old royalty check.
But even when you're talking about Brad Westley, you're talking about this moment where they've had their nice evening together, and they're about to go out they're about to do it on the roof there. Of course, you have this creep watching them.
Of course,
creeper.
I mean, this dude's granted, they're out on the roof and God's, right under God's plain, night sky, but it's just
it's a sky.
Still, but there's noticing something. There's noticing people, and then there's watching people.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, he's only staring because he's trying to figure out which one is Patrick Swayze, because they're both thin, naked, and feathered hair. So.
Hey, which one?
He's like, I can't.
Well, Patrick,
that would take a minute.
He was probably thinking, he's sitting there watching. He probably got his binoculars out. He goes, Patrick Swayze's the one without the YouTube logo on his butt. So
yes. That's the giveaway.
I would imagine that's how it worked.
But it is strange, isn't it? I'm not sure how small this town is supposed to be. He's still lost it. But it's the idea, though, isn't it? In that that river that they live alongside, that must go on for a fair way. What are the odds that he lives right opposite him?
But that is interesting though, because I just
He's
never
just
thought
like
of
the
that, because
neighbor.
you got talk about different sides of the track, different sides of the river.
That's what it's supposed to symbolize. Yeah.
The income inequality. It's a metaphor for income inequality.
But on top of that,
Not really.
The other side of the tracks. That's what it is. The other side of the tracks.
But you've got this guy who practically
We're digging
owns the
deep.
whole town. Everybody's in hip pocket, but maybe to him this isn't so creepy. Maybe to him this is him, looking down on everything he surveys, and it belongs to him, just like the dock is supposed to be his. So yeah, I guess vicariously now he gets to do to her what he wanted to by watching Dalton. Just kind of putting that out there. Maybe the writer might send us a note going, "That's not what I meant to type," So
you're digging deep, but that does kind of fit. That does kind of fit.
It isn't that deep of a movie, but maybe it is. Maybe the director just said, screw it, just let's have a bunch of people get the hell beat out of them. It'd be more fun film.
My girlfriend said that he had binoculars on at first, and then and then when he went to this frame, like he took them down and everything. That's why he saw someone, and then this is like he took them down, and like now his lips is curled. And he's like, crap.
He took the microphone. He took the binoculars down. He's sitting there wanking.
Going for the nose scope.
Can't hold the binoculars up at the same time.
Roadhouse.
I'm glad that we're addressing the Family Guy part of Roadhouse lore, because that's incredibly important to me. That we really underline that, because honestly, I
wanted that in here too. I was hoping it would be in here,
and it was right off the bat. Off the bat, Scott put something in at the beginning. I was like, okay, we're good, because the Family Guy stuff is, whether Roadhouse likes it or not, it is part of Roadhouse lore.
So is this movie in the States, because this is a well-known film in Britain, reasonably well-known, and it's aged quite well, but it's getting to the point now with the people who didn't grow up at the time, they won't have heard about it in the way that they'd have heard of Ghostbusters or Back to the Future. But is this film a much bigger part of American popular culture? Is it referenced quite a lot in stuff like Family Guy or in sitcoms or other action movies and series and things? I'd really like to know.
I'd say so. Yeah.
I was born in '88, so maybe I could speak on that a little bit, because when I watch something from the '80s, I'm looking back.
Yeah.
I'm not. I grew up really in the '90s.
All right. Don't rub it in.
I don't have a lot of gray hair yet. No, I was. I grew up in a Schwarzenegger, Jackie Chan household, more or less.
Okay.
That was kind of my jam.
Were they good parents?
Yeah.
Just asking.
And they were my parents, and it was a really interesting experience growing up with them as parents. But I think it's not referenced as much as, say, like something like RoboCop, or like I threw out a RoboCop reference in this. So I would say it doesn't have maybe the cultural penetration that something like that would have, but it's absolutely still, I would say it's relevant, especially among like movie geeks, people that really like talking about movies and stuff. It's a thing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of RoboCop, I'm not sure if Dan knows this or not. Now, I know that you guys are going to.
Here it comes.
You know what's coming.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So,
the man.
Yes, I did.
Why didn't I not think that?
Yeah, you knew that was coming tonight. It had. I haven't pulled it out in a couple weeks, and that's what she said. So.
Whoa.
Yo, man, Lynn's watching this, dog. Be careful. Right?
She knows what hasn't happened in the last couple of weeks. So, it's a cold.
Lynn, I'm not touching that. That's between you.
I've got to code. I'm not going to spread the code. But anyway, the villainous Brad Westley, he's the self-appointed king of this little cruddy town, and it's Jasper, Missouri, and he of course is the main antagonist of the film. What are his motivations?
Like this guy.
What are his motivations, and how does he impact the story?
I mean, he's just kind of the quintessential bad guy, really, isn't he?
I'd say so. Yes.
Which I was kind of, if this type of movie, I was really expecting Tillman to kind of turn into a bad guy, and he didn't really as much as
I thought that too. Yo, John, I thought the same thing.
Right, because that's the arc that you would. I mean, again, RoboCop.
Well, he's got one of those faces
happen.
and one of those manners, doesn't he? Whereas Brad looks more. He's very urbane and quite well dressed. He's more like the kind of villain you get in a Bond movie or something.
Right.
Oh,
Right. But he's the one, and he's quite a sicko. By the end, and it's only fitting that he would go the way that he goes. We don't have to talk about it now, Scott, unless you want to save the ending for later. But he goes the way. It's probably my favorite scene is when he finally is defeated. Everyone in the room takes turns just shooting him until he becomes part of the coffee table. I think more or less.
Part of the coffee table.
And it's just fitting. It's fitting for him because everything that led up to that. It was quite like you said, like we were talking about earlier. This isn't a particularly deep movie, but it's a lot of fun. And this is one of the more fun villain death climaxes in American cinema. I would argue it's just because it's just so fitting for him.
Well, it's interesting that this didn't actually. He didn't go through with it. He's got his throat claw out.
He's ready.
You see, it's right, but that reaction to laugh at this is absolutely right. Because when you stop watching this movie, when you turn it off, and particularly if you leave it a couple of days, like I have, and then you think back on it, this is obviously ridiculous. But when you're watching it in the film, you believe that Patrick Swayze, Dalton can do this, that this is possible. This is something he can do in the blink of an eye. It's extraordinary. It's 2 days on. I'm thinking, God, why did I get so wrapped up in this? But this is what the best action movies do.
Yep. Yeah. They make you believe and buy into something utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what movie this reminds me of?
What?
All right, and then it reminds me of Walking Tall.
Okay,
that's the one. That's the one I couldn't. That's got Johnny Knoxville in.
And I didn't know, Dan. I didn't know that there was the Rock movie.
Yeah, it's two movies.
Was a remake.
Yeah.
Of the ones from the 70s.
Yeah.
And there was 3 parts. Even though it's a real story, there was 3 movies that they made. I was like, what? I was like, what? Are you serious? And literally, I'm watching the movie. I'm just like, dog, this is just like Walking Tall. Dalton is the sheriff. Just coming in, trying to clean the town up, aka the bar, and everything like that. And I'm just like, this is crazy. All right, oh my goodness.
Is Walking Tall a movie I need to see because I haven't seen it yet?
Well, oh my gosh!
I haven't either. The
70s one is.
Am I the only one that's seen The Rock?
The 70s original is pretty good.
No, I've seen it.
The Rock one, they over embellished and made it more geared to that audience of the time. Okay. So the 70s one's a little more faithful to the real story.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're both worth checking out though.
Yeah.
I'll watch them back to back.
You should, and then that way you could. No, you could. Then you can honestly make your own comparisons, and see kind of how far off the other one kind of went a little bit. So
okay.
But,
yeah, Walking Tall.
Well, we know that Brad Westley, one of his motivations, like he said, is to gather into him what is his, and he obviously thinks that he is the owner of this town. That it's all his. Jasper's mine, and it's really interesting how. When Dalton was at his house and he saw that picture of Wesley's grandfather, and he's like, oh, he looks like he was an important man. He says, oh, he was an a-hole. And it's just like, okay, so you don't see the irony of what you just said, sir. What makes him an a-hole and you not? How many people, have thugs that are allowed to drive a Bigfoot monster truck through a dealership.
I've forgotten all about that
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad Wesley's going to put something down on a new car. I'm like,
that was wild.
Yeah. Hey, you got insurance, don't you? Yeah. But it is his motivation just to gather that, or is he really trying? is he punishing the town because he wasn't able to get hold of the doc as his girlfriend or wife or whatever? And of course, you see the bimbo that he's with. Of course, forget her name right offhand. I think they only say it like once. Denise. Denise is. I have a picture of the bimbo right here. There we go. She's definitely a trophy girl. I mean, she hardly has a thought in her head. Is this who he's trying to make Doc jealous with? All the money, all the other stuff he's showering it on. This could be you if you were with me. Or is he just that much of an a-hole that he just, he's kind of left everything else behind and now he's just kind of like.
I think he'd written her off as sort of, as if to say, oh, so what? Because she'd got her uncle, she'd got her job, she devoted her life to a job. She'd met nobody else in the meantime, or at least nobody of any great significance. So he was quite happy for Doc to be off doing whatever. And I got the impression that that the bimbo character, Denise, was it? That she is just the latest in probably he probably changes them up, trades her in every 6 months to a year, moves somebody else in, and just keeps the rotation going like that. And because he probably, obviously Doc would have walked out on him. This case of, so what? I can get whoever, and you're not going to be happy anyway. But it rattles him when she does find somebody else, and that it is this same guy as well. That's keeps coming back to him, and it begins to get under his skin, and nothing gets under this guy's skin.
Yeah, and I think it was really interesting when Dalton went to his house, and she was, playing some contemporary music, exercising to it. And of course, she shielded her face because she had been abused by. We're gonna guess that Westley did it himself, and of course, she stays there because for whatever reason it might be, whether it's his money or classically in psychology they say a lot of the reasons how come people stay with other people who abuse them is because they're afraid of change. Mm-hmm. So is it she's afraid of change? Or is it a combination of that and the guy's wealthy, or she knows that if she leaves, she'll be hunted down and killed? So
I think it's all that pretty much,
Yeah.
She's just as much of a trophy as the dead things hanging on his wall in his trophy room.
Yeah.
And essentially that
which he probably didn't. He probably bought most of that stuff.
I was thinking that as well, because he's got a lot of guns, hasn't he? And yes, but he doesn't seem to ever want to get his hands dirty. Obviously, he does punch out that guy, doesn't he? But I was thinking that he would have bought them at auction or something.
Yeah. I'm thinking
it's
like
aesthetic.
3,000
he wants the aesthetic.
miles of Graceland. Same deal. 3,000.
Not one of you brought up that girl was wearing white either.
Oh, that's it.
Well,
landing lights permanently on.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. See, she's wearing right there.
No, the other girl.
She can't help that one though. She can't help it.
Yeah, but she's wearing white because it's always nookie time for her. So
Okay.
She has to be ready at all times. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she wants Dalton's attention as well, though. She recognizes the kind of man that he is too, and the stillness, the different proper masculinity, being in control of himself, of his emotions at all times. Brad has that too, but he has it for a different reason. He's kind of bought his pair. It's phony, and that's why I think you're right, Gene. I think that the trophies he's bought those too, whereas Dalton has earned his.
Thank you.
Interestingly, you don't see this, and I think this would have made the movie a little deeper, but of course they didn't do it. But she keeps going after Dalton, and then of course she's at the bar, trying to tantalize everybody, puts on a show, gets down to her underwear, and shows off the goods. And
we've all been there.
Yeah, just last week. But anyway, I think that she really doesn't make the effort to say, "Hey, Dalton, I just don't want to have sex with you. Will you rescue me?" Because you don't see that kind of a thing. You never see her take him aside and be like, he's beating me up. That. Can you help me?
But that's all she knows.
Yeah, that's all she knows.
Yeah.
That's all she knows.
Well, like I said, not a thought in her head.
Yeah.
The peroxide went right to the brain.
Yeah.
So, but Dr. Elizabeth Clay, of course, he meets her in the ER, as we know, and well, it's Red Webster's niece, as we find out. And how does the connection between these two enhance the story overall? I mean, what do we get out of the fact that he's into Doc's into her. He's a little bit more on the wild side. Will take care of business, and she's into preserving life no matter what. So, how does their connection enhance the overall storyline?
I think it gives him a chance to be a little bit more human, which is important for a character like him. Like he has his thing that he does 99% of the time, but it's also nice to see a few moments where the walls come down a little bit, the guard comes down a little bit, and he can be somewhat vulnerable and human with someone, and that's who she is with him. That's kind of what I've always taken that for. It's just like his moment and his person to kind of be a little more human with, and not he's taking a break from the role of who he is 99%.
No, yeah, I agree. He's not a completely different character in these scenes, but you can see he is slightly different because this isn't his world. That surgery, he knows he's taken his medical records, and it's her environment. He's quite happy to respect their time and their skill. It is slightly different what he's doing there. I think she's beautifully cast. What's that? Kelly Lynch is the actress's name, isn't it? I think she's great in this, and the chemistry is absolutely instant. And it's not particularly, how can I put this? It's not over the top, but they make it very clear because there's not much time to waste in a movie like this. Right. But I think she kind of underplays it really, really well. For a moment, I thought she was Kelly Preston. That's different. I always get them mixed up. But I don't think I've seen her in anything else, or at least not for a long time. And I was thinking, I wonder what she's done since, because I should have seen her in more things. She's great in this.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty good in it too. And like you said, she does kind of underplay it just a tad.
Yeah, she's a little understated, which is nice.
Makes a change, doesn't it, in this kind of movie?
But you immediately know, like, what you can feel the temperature change when it's a scene with the two of them, as opposed to basically any other combination of characters.
Yeah, the sparks were definitely flying, and then, like, again, he has a PhD in philosophy and stuff, so
yeah, I was gonna say he's well read.
He's using that degree as he's kicking game to her, like slightly, slightly kicking game. Talk about like I'm gonna give you a local. Nah, I'm fine with that. With pain don't hurt, pain don't hurt, everything. I'm like, oh yeah, dog, okay, guy. I mean, you got shot twice and stabbed up and everything. Probably used to it, but like how many? Like, I mean, I've been cut a couple of times before. Like,
this is a scratch.
That's not something you get used to.
It's a flesh wound.
It's a flesh wound. Like,
I've had worse. Liar.
Not even like that. You know what I mean? So.
Well, now, am I reading too much into this, or because I just now thought of this? Because of course, when he's talking with Garrett, and they're getting a little heated about what happened at the previous town that he was in a couple years ago, where he killed the guy, and he says, "You didn't know she was married. You need to let that go." So obviously he was with a married woman. She was hiding it. Right. But then when he takes her upstairs to his pad, he says, "Oh, so you never got married?" And she says, "Oh no, I was married. Just not the right guy, that kind of a thing." So was he kind of poking around so he doesn't get burned again?
Yeah.
So I mean,
he wants to make sure that he's not going to relive the same thing.
Right. Yeah. You want to learn from that type of thing.
Yeah, general precaution. That's what he was doing. I mean, like I mean, all his scars aren't just from being a bouncer or cooler, as he said. Like some of it might have been from lovers quarrels and stuff like that. That might have been possible.
Sure.
So I wouldn't put that past him. Nah.
And I don't think you have to. I don't think it's going too deep to think about that with this character at all. Like, I think that makes perfect sense. He's hardened and tough, and he's been through it and on multiple levels. I think that's absolutely true with him.
Now, Sam Elliott's character, Wade Garrett. Now, this is a man's man.
This is the guy.
This is the guy who trained
Was he
Dalton.
drunk in this picture?
Yeah.
I was cheering when I saw this guy show up on the screen. I was like,
Well,
"Oh snap!"
he did tell him, "Pour me a beer. I'll be right back." Comes out. How's it going, mijo?
Yeah.
Mind
The
your
secret
own
is
business,
he's always
Dad.
drunk.
But,
Yeah, say he looks drunk now. So, Johnny,
He's
we're
like
going
the Hulk,
full, we're
but with
going
being
full
drunk.
circle, Johnny. We're going full circle on this because now he is the mayor now, of Family Guy. So
You're right.
Yeah.
he is.
Canon, dude.
Oh,
It's-
he is Sam
all-
Elliott,
yeah,
the Family
'cause-
Guy.
yeah.
The Roadhouse extended universe goes
Oh,
into
for
Family Guy.
real? Like you're not BSing. Are you
No.
serious?
No.
Although I think he is as Sam Elliott in Family Guy, right?
Yep.
He's
I
like
swore it was Patrick Stewart.
It was Adam West originally, and then Adam West passed away. So
Adam
now-
West
Yeah.
passed away.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I will say,
really?
and Sam Elliott rode in on a horse and took it.
I
over.
was hoping that
Patrick
when
Stewart, Family Guy. I mean, American Dad. My fault. Sorry.
I was hoping that when
Oh,
he
yeah.
passed, when Adam West passed away, I was really hoping that they would replace him with Burt Ward instead. So that way you have Batman was the mayor of the town. Now it's Robin is the mayor of the town, but they didn't, and that's fine. So that's.
I could have got behind that, but yeah, it went with Sam Elliott, and I support that as well.
But anytime I see Sam Elliott in a movie, I know we're in for a good time. And it's kind of like he comes, kind of traipsing in like halfway through the movie, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Sam Elliott's in the movie." Kind of like what's that one with Val Kilmer, the Ghost in the Darkness. That's a long movie. I love that movie, but it's like you totally forget that Michael Douglas is even in the film until like an hour and a half in. It's like, oh shit, yeah, there's Michael Douglas. I forgot he's in this film. But here comes Sam Elliott. I know we're in for a good time because he has one of the coolest mustaches in all of Hollywood, don't you think? I mean, it's almost a character all of its own.
Especially
Still
now.
does.
Yes, especially now. Well, of course, what is the other? We can name several movies that he's been in, where that mustache
Tombstone
is
for sure.
kind of there.
The
But
Big
yeah,
Lebowski.
the
Oh, there we are.
Lebowski,
Yep.
who also the
Ghost
actor-
Rider.
Yes, and Ghost
Oh,
Rider.
I
And-
love that first Ghost Rider movie.
that second
The
one.
Nick
was-
Cage one, was that Nick Cage?
Yeah, Nick Cage. Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one. He was the caretaker.
But and
Man,
of
that
course,
mustache is about to fly off and live its own life.
yeah, it's its own character, and of course the guy who plays Brad
Endangered
Wesley,
species.
who I can't remember his name right now. I'll look it up real quick. I got it right here. Brad Wesley's played by Ben Gazzara. He is also in The Big
Such a
Lebowski.
cowboy.
He is. He's a cowboy in everything he's in. He
He's
is.
literally the same.
See,
Yeah.
if this film had been made in 1969 rather than 1989, it probably would have starred Sam Elliott as Dalton. He'd have been the lead. He was that kind of, and that's what I think this represents. It's the student and the master kind of thing. We get this in Highlander with Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. We see this a lot too.
A passing of the torch.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like about this.
Sure.
It's the old mentor who rides back into town. But yeah, I can see a film like this 20 years earlier, a different breed of the same kind of hero. Sam Elliott probably would have played that kind of part. But Dalton represents somebody, say, at the tail end of the 80s. It's in the things that he says, as well as the things that he wears, the way that he dresses. The idea, and of course, by this point, action cinema had been massive, hadn't it, between, say, 85 and around this time, 89, 1990. But it was starting to wane a little bit, and Die Hard came out the same year, didn't it, as this? Obviously, Bruce Willis was a little leaner than Schwarzenegger and Stallone and people like that. So
He was
I
an
think
everyman.
Yeah, and I think that Dalton is a kind of attempt to do a similar kind of thing, because he's not as everyman as John McClane is.
John McClane,
but
yeah.
Right.
he is a little more relatable, because you could pass Dalton in the street and you'd probably not look twice, because he's not built like a
Right.
brick. Whereas you could never pass John Matrix from Commando in the street without thinking that is one big fucking bloke.
Right. Let's stay away from this dude. Yeah.
Yeah, you see it anytime I've seen a bodybuilder like that, and it's not very often. It's just like you take notice. You're just like, holy crap.
Right. It's
And-
like the centerpiece of the room. And
I
eating
once-
things like that.
I once bumped into a guy. What's his name? He was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's it. Yeah, Pat Roach.
Yep.
Pat Roach, the great big guy that Harrison Ford fights, not just in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I think he's in The Last Crusade as well.
And
He fights him
Temple of Doom.
twice. That was it.
We talked about that.
Roach
The,
lived.
the propeller guy, the guy that gets killed with the propeller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
guy.
So Pat Roach was from a town that's just about 10 miles up the road from me, and I worked there for a while. And I was on my lunch break once. I turned the corner, and there he was, right in front of me. And I was like, you know, when you just walk around a corner, you don't see another person. But I looked up, expecting to see his face. I thought, but no, that's his chest. That's his face. Still the biggest bloke I have ever seen in my life.
Immediately
the
put you
late
in
great
fight or
Pat
flight mode.
Roach.
Was
Yeah,
he
it was-
friendly? Was he friendly?
He didn't say anything. I said, "Oh, sorry, mate." Something like that. Sorry, mate. Because
He
he was
wasn't
eating a Cornish pasty at the time. He was on it. I don't know. He was on his lunch break or something. But that's him. Yeah, he
Good Lord.
was one big
The
guy. So he's-
massive man, yo.
That is a man.
Yeah. He was in a couple of big TV shows in Britain as well as the stuff he did in big movies. But yeah, I'll never forget that. Quite recently, I was speaking to somebody, an actor who knew him quite well. They said, yeah, he was huge. He didn't argue with me.
I wonder how, because I'm a tall guy, but I'm not, built. Like my cousin Mark once said to me, he goes, if I had your body, I'd be a football player. And I'm like, I play trombone, man. I'm not that.
You play trombone?
Yeah, I play trombone. I'm not that.
That's
guy.
awesome.
Yeah.
I play French horn.
I
We're
mean,
bass
Rob
player buddies.
is tall too.
Cool.
Rob is tall. I mean, because he came by. He was here in March for my birthday.
I'm
And
malnourished
Rob is
though.
tall. Yeah, I'm the average man, 5'8.5".
I'm like six.
Maybe
I'm
6'9",
6'4".
maybe 5'9" with boots. Like
With boots.
I'm 5'9" as well.
Well, how does Wade Garrett? Let's bring a picture of Wade back up, and this is not Wade right here. Hey, it's Wade Garrett. No,
Hey.
Wade's
Scared the hell out of me.
He's so big now. How does Wade Garrett? What does he do to add to the story? How does he shape Dalton's journey throughout the film?
Stu was an ass. That's what he was. He was the quintessential henchman.
No,
and-
I'm talking about not him. I'm talking about
So I'm looking at the picture.
Wade Garrett. Him.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wayne Garrett. Oh,
His
okay.
character,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking Sam Elliott. My bad.
What does he do?
Well,
to-
he's the sounding board, isn't he? As you mentioned earlier on, he's there. He comes to give us some of his backstory because a character like Dalton is never going to tell you about what happened in the previous town. So he needs somebody around him to give us some exposition and to dig a little deeper into the character. So that's really why he's there. And he acts as a sort of Obi-Wan kind of figure, doesn't he?
He's
Yes.
the wise elder in a way, right?
Yeah.
The why? Yes, the Obi. That is a good point. He is very much the Obi-Wan of the film. He very
Right.
much is. Yeah, he's taught Dalton everything, and just like
Or the Luke of the new trilogy.
Are we saying Obi-Wan because of his hair right now, or are we?
You pull it back.
He's Qui-Gon. If anything, he's Qui-Gon.
Yeah, that is true, and maybe
Qui-Gon.
that's the one that we turn into Robo House is since he dies in the movie. So yeah, that's
Make it Star House. That's fine.
Does anybody have any favorite quotes from the movie?
Oh, where do you start?
Oh my
My
God.
favorite, I think my favorite scene. It peaks really early with that guy who says, "It's going to cost you $20, and you can kiss them."
Yes.
And he goes over there and starts squeezing them. He says, "But I ain't got $20."
I ain't
he
got
says.
$20.
Yeah.
And he gets slapped into the
Remember
next
that part?
universe.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Ain't you gonna kiss him? I ain't got $20. Yeah, that was good.
But
That's why you always get the $20 first. You just get the $20 straight up before you do anything. I mean, come on, that's basic economics.
But you know,
I put on my Facebook the other night that I was watching this. You know, when you put it on, so and so is watching X, Y, Z. So I did that, and I had loads of people commenting underneath with their favorite. I didn't ask them to; they just chipped in with various quotes from it.
Yeah, I would have to go with the "Be Nice." I mean, that's the moment for me. For me, that's the one that stands out in terms of just like dialogue. That little speech that he's given right there, you know, the 3 rules. I forget exactly what they were, but I know the third one was "Be nice," and that's the embodiment. It's you know, keep your powder dry, keep control of yourself, and you know, and wait until you absolutely have no other option but to throw someone's head through a table.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Johnny, like the "Be Nice" one, because that's just something.
It encapsulates the whole movie.
The whole movie. That's all it was about. Like, and
that's another great one.
That was that
was a good one.
That was hilarious. But I'm gonna go with the "Be Nice" just because, like this is my day job. Like, well, not because it's summer break now, or holiday, Dan. All right. All right.
Yeah.
For me, like, I'm off from school. So I'm a teacher. So, like, the biggest thing in school is, like, I'm just, like, be nice. Like, be nice as much as possible. Like, regardless on how whatever's coming at you and everything, being nice is, like, the best thing that you could do versus, like, meeting fire with fire. Because you're both going to get burnt up. You know what I mean? So, like, I like that. I really like that phrase, yo. Like, be nice. So
the other phrase they say a lot in this film is, "I thought you'd be tall. I thought you'd be bigger."
They always said that.
yeah.
The blind guy said it.
I thought you'd be big. He hears it all the time. You know. So
that's right. They had the blind musician. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Like,
another one I like is "Don't eat the big white mint."
And don't eat the big white mint. I love when he goes out back and you know, there's, you know, the fight going on. You know, Dalton's getting his ass handed to him, and the guy says to him, and you know, even though it's a family show, I'm not F-bombing, but he says, the big guy says, "You want to fight, Dickless?" And he says, I sure ain't gonna show you my dick. You know, and then of course he hits
the only response.
But that's a great line. But the one that's the best one after that, as soon as he kicks him right, or he punches him in the groin, and then he kicks him in the knee, and he looks right at him. He goes, "That sure hurt, doesn't it?" It's just that, to me, that's Sam Elliott right there. He's just showing you, I am not the biggest guy in the room, but I am the biggest guy in the room.
Right.
So yeah.
There's another line later on as well where one of the characters says, "I used to fuck guys like you in prison."
In prison.
That's a great line as well.
Oh my gosh, I remember that on the side of the river.
When he said that, I was like, "What?"
Yeah. I was the same. Yo, Dan, I was the same way. I was like, "What? Why did you say that?"
This is what we learned in the 80s is that also men didn't want to have shirts on as much as possible. So.
Well, I mean, he can do it, so you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Another thing too I thought was funny is that, like peacocks, when both the men and the women became interested in each other, their hair instantly became bigger. So, because the doctor, same thing, very slick back hair, ponytail, nerded it up, and all of a sudden she had an interest in him, and her hair got super aquanetted, and
the mating ritual.
Yeah.
The
80s.
She reminded me of Gem and the Holograms. Do you remember that?
And here's the scene. This is the scene where she went into the bathroom after Dalton. So she went in right after Dalton used the bathroom there. So yeah, there we go. I love.
I'm laughing because my little sister watched that damn show every.
Your hair doesn't just go like that either. You really gotta spray that. And then
Aquanet.
It's gotta come out. You know what I mean? Like
you gotta activate it.
Sarah Fawcett is that hair, dog. Like
my cousin, she's about just almost a year younger than me. Her name's Jody, and we were like this growing up. And for a short time, she stayed at my parents' house, and every morning before school, there would be this fog of Aquanet in the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I thought I was in San Francisco, and it was rolling in, and my mom, she was a smoker, and I actually went out one morning and I said, please don't light up a cigarette right now.
Yeah, as I say, that just sounds like an
Just-
accident waiting to happen. So
just in case. And it was big. I mean, I wish I had a picture of Jody from the '80s because it was big.
did she have a Pizza Hut tablecloth shirt too, like she did?
I don't think. I think hers was a Domino's. But,
Oh, okay.
I do have one question here. I'm going to go ahead and skip. We're going to go to this one here. So, Roadhouse has an enduring cult following, as Dan has definitely pointed out earlier, and it's not considered like a great movie by any means. You know, I mean, is this is this one of those those films that everybody's seen as just like something that's really really deep film or anything like that? No, but it's a really fun film, kind of like Commando. Commando's a fun film. Everybody's getting their asses blown off. It's a great film. Go get the girl. Go get your girl back. And I love Commando too. Matrix. I think I watch that movie like at least once every couple months.
That's an amazing movie.
And it is. And just like this one is too, although not enough people die in this like in that one. Dude, like when that guy gets his head cut off in that movie with the saw blade, there's nothing better. There's nothing but it's a fun movie, and some people might consider it a guilty pleasure. What is its impact on the action genre itself?
I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys can speak to this a little bit more. But from what I can tell, it just seemed like kind of an anomaly at the time, because the action heroes in the late 80s, early 90s, and even perhaps even further on are generally big hulking, monstrosities. And, Patrick Swayze was, again, like we were talking about, like Bruce Lee sort of did this too, where he's lean and, and if his shirt's on, you don't really know, when the shirt comes off, then, okay, this guy's going to kick a bunch of ass. But, Patrick Swayze sort of was, he was an anomaly. And it was, I think
at the time, Johnny, you never knew what Patrick Swayze was going to do next. To go from Dirty Dancing to this, and shortly after he was in Ghost a couple of years later.
Oh yeah, Ghost was after this, right? So that's another big change for him. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're looking at it through like the fan of Patrick Swayze lens, I guess it was pretty off the wall.
I don't think he viewed himself as. I mean, I don't know what the studio people thought who offered him this movie, whether it was written for him, whether they offered it to anybody else. But I don't think that he viewed this as this was him moving into action movies. I don't think Bruce Willis intended to do that either, come to think of it. But Patrick Swayze was. I don't think he was determined not to remain there, but I think he treated it like he would any other film and any other character, and he lived in it for the duration of the movie, and then put the character away and went off and did something else. And I think it was that simple to him. And he had quite a choppy career, if you remember. He was in and out of fashion several times.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was the action movie flavor of Patrick Swayze, and then Ghost was the kind of supernatural love story flavor of Patrick Swayze, and he was just he became water. You put him in a cup, he became the cup.
Yeah, I just think he was just playing the role that. And he's a good actor. Like he just played the role as the best way he could, and everything like that. And then we have Roadhouse right now. Like that's what it is, yo. So, and
there's a place for that.
What you said, Johnny?
Oh, I was kind of building off of what you were saying. Like there's a place for what this. Yeah, like Scott mentioned. Like this isn't super deep. There's not a whole lot of layers. Although we've dug way more out of it than I thought we would. But even with that understanding, I mean, there's a place, and I wouldn't even say that this isn't a great movie because it's not multi-layered or not super. I mean, this accomplishes exactly what it sets out to do. It's simple, yes, but it is aces with what it's trying to do. It nails everything it's trying to do, and there's a place for that. There's a place for simple movies that don't have 15 different layers. It's not Interstellar, Christopher Nolan's not involved, and that's fine. And it's in there, especially at that time, but I would argue forever. That's a timeless concept. Simple movies that have a simple goal and accomplish it well. But go ahead. I mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good, man. I mean, how many Sharknadoes are out there? Come on.
And they're
Like
great.
7.
The Meg is awesome.
Because there's one, that's too many. So
Yes.
But just the biggest.
Also true somehow.
But just like what Johnny was saying, like that's what Sharknado was there for. Like,
yeah,
Right.
that's what it is. You know what I
clearly
mean?
there's an audience for it. So
There's an audience for it. You know?
who, if we
And this
learn
is
from
it.
this movie, apparently are in this town of Missouri. So
Yeah.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Zora.
Missouri.
What is it about
Harvard
Roadhouse?
means yet? No. Oh, crap.
What is it about Roadhouse? What we're about there? What is it about Roadhouse that continues to captivate everybody though to this day? I mean, even new audiences. Because Gene, you're part of that new audience. What was it that would make you and the Wiz say, hey, "Let's watch that again"?
It's just an 80s movie. Like, so not even prepping for this. I just bought The Last Starfighter
Yeah.
on DVD.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Dan. Thank you. Okay.
Top
Everyone,
film.
I need to see the okay. The Last Starfighter. Okay. Dog. Like, I mean, that's like my childhood, like in a bundle and everything. So, like, watching that movie was like quintessential 80s, you know, like town in the desert and just like not even just town in the desert, but there's like a town out in the middle of nowhere, and then there's this fantastic story that is like around the town and everything. And then, like, you know, we watched it and everything like that. And you know, like with that going into Roadhouse, it was just this 80 aesthetic, like I was talking about. And sorry about my mic. I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast. It's just like this aesthetic of the 80s, that of this fantastical story that, like, now if you try to pitch that, they're like, yo, get the F out of here, dog. Like,
Yeah,
like,
we're not gonna do that now.
yeah, we're not gonna do that now. Yo, we're about dystopia and cordyceps and stuff like that. That's what
Cordyceps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what we want to talk about and everything.
Which is
But-
also fun, but you're right. It's
Go
a
ahead.
novelty now. To
Yeah.
make a movie like this, it'd be a novelty. It'd be an
Right.
anomaly. Whereas back then,
there was a time where these were just unbelievable stories that could probably never really happen. That's what made it so great. It was great for the imagination. It was great for something to dream of. And now,
yeah,
movies out today, what do we dream about? You know, so
the end of the world. That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
or we just remake other dreams.
or just remake other dreams. Yeah,
Well, what you were
Yeah.
saying, the conclusion that we come to here with this, though, I think in some respects, what I hungered for, you feel like the climax comes where he rips that guy's throat out at the riverbank, but that's not the climax of the movie. There's not a fight sequence at the end. We get the scene that you were talking about, where they all take turns to shoot the guy, and he goes through the coffee table. And again, this isn't a deep and meaningful film, but it is saying something about community and
Right.
and about values. I think in the fact that they're all willing to lie for one another. For a start, there's none of them question their actions for a single moment. There is a right and there is a wrong, and some people are just scumbags, and they deserve everything that's coming to them. They would never have set out to murder that man, but the fact is, he had every intention of murdering Dalton and whoever else he could. Therefore, they had to put him down. It was that simple. These are the consequences of your actions. Yeah.
When it's time to step in, it's time to step in.
Yeah. What matters to you? Yeah, I think that's what this film's about.
It also because who would have been the next Dalton, basically. So
Right.
And is there a need for one now?
right.
You know, now that Brad Wesley's gone, is there a need for a Dalton? I mean, you know, can he finally take his shoes off and say, I'm done kicking ass?
Dog, Tillman hired him and he did his job,
Did his job.
right to the end.
Yep.
Right to the end.
And when
Okay.
someone pays you $500 a day and $5,000 up front or
down.
whatever it was, you better
And
do
all
the
medical
damn
A
job.
lot of
expenses.
bread. Oh my
It's a lot,
God.
man.
In the
That's
80s,
a lot
that's like
now.
mine.
Back then, he was
No.
like, he was like, you know, I've been like kicking into the Caribbean after one
Oh,
job.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which clearly he spent all of his money on jeans. So
Yes,
jeans and-
tight
and a-
jeans.
and a Buick.
Stretchy tight jeans. Breathable jeans.
high-waisted tight jeans.
Yes, those Levi's, bro.
Well, this is the part of the show. Of course, this is the part of the show where we normally bring out the Harbinger memes.
I got
But unfortunately, this week, the Harbinger is on vacation in Bora Bora, so we're going to be doing something just slightly different this week.
No explosion.
No explosion. This
Yeah, I
week, we're
noticed that.
doing this. Yes.
I don't even know where you're coming with.
That's an A++ dash.
I can't even imagine where
Is
this
this
is
one
going
of the
right now.
surprises?
Yes,
one of the surprises?
this is the surprise at the end that I was talking about. Yes, because the Harbinger, I could not find any memes whatsoever about this movie. Everything was all just lines from the movie. I was like, that's it. We got to do something different. So I thought, why not dig deep into my surrealism?
Even this mustache is surprised.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, Salvador Dali is surreal, and sometimes so am I. But of course, we have Mr. Mustache himself.
Mustache.
That's a
What a-
fantastic shirt.
What a beautiful American T-shirt for Dan to see.
Where can I get one? Redbubble. Where are you?
Red bubble.
I'm gonna find one and I'm gonna mail it to you, sir.
But of course, as we said before, his mustache, even with the beard, it always stands out. It is
Yeah.
a
my
character
gosh, man.
of its own. And of course here he
Yeah,
is.
boy.
But can you imagine Sam Elliott without his mustache?
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God.
that's strange. No,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
a mixture
yeah.
of Scott Bakula and
That
Dustin
guy,
Hoffman.
yeah.
Doesn't
I'm
it?
closing my eyes. I'm
Yeah.
not looking.
He was in the movie Wall Street, and
Change it.
I did not even know it was him. And he didn't have his mustache. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? I know that voice. I'm like, holy shit, that's Sam Elliott. But of
Wow.
course, other famous mustaches
Wow.
that we have seen in.
Tom Selleck.
We maybe not.
The boss.
Have that.
Hey,
We have the late great Alex Trebek here.
what
of
is
course.
mustache?
He always had his
Rest
great
in peace.
mustache, but he didn't always have his great mustache moments like this one when he decided to grow his beard, and he looked a little more like Wolf Blitzer, I think. So
He does look like Wolf Blitzer. You're
Yeah.
right,
So
except
that's-
just like longer.
yeah, that's a
longer
kind of
face,
a
yeah.
minus because it's Wolf Blitzer, but
Right.
then of course this gentleman could of course not have a mustache and look great, but another
Yeah.
fantastic mustache in Hollywood was always this man, Mr. Billy D. Williams himself,
There
you
Lando
go!
Calrissian.
Hell yeah.
Yes, my guy.
Mr. Colt 45, baby.
That's Colt 45, baby. But of course, another one of the great mustaches of all time was Mr. Burt Reynolds.
Oh.
But
Smooth.
something, I just don't like him without his mustache.
No, it's the same. Billy D. Williams and
What?
Burt
What is
Reynolds. They
this?
don't
Oh, that's
look like.
horrible. I don't even want to look at that. I'm covering it up with my screen.
That's so weird.
That's so
Is that
weird,
from
yo. Thank
Deliverance?
you.
I believe that might have been from Deliverance, yes.
Yeah.
But of course, Charlie Chaplin, and
A
of
daring
course,
choice at the time.
Charlie. Yes, a daring
Yes,
choice.
the
Yeah.
toothbrush mustache. It's still a difficult one to bring out to the party. That one.
Yeah, takes serious courage.
people do point and stare.
Zeke Heil, everybody. Oh, sorry, wrong guy. But of course, this gentleman has really pretty much not ever had facial hair, except this time when he was Garth, his evil twin on Knight Rider. It was Garth Knight.
Okay,
not
that one
right.
I don't really like. I don't like that one.
That's not real. Did somebody draw that on him? That looks drawn on.
No, it was a
Is it?
I have the Blu-rays. It's not real. It's not real, but it is a fake mustache. Yes,
Yeah.
Bizarro Swayze.
yes, and of course
Hey,
now
Clark Gable.
my grandfather. He had this pencil thing going on like Clark Gable into his dying day, and even my best friend would be like, "Who's your grandfather think he is? Clark Gable?" I'm like, he probably did. He used to dye his hair all the way up. He was like 95
Why
and
not?
stopped dyeing his hair when he was like 94, I think. So, but then Clark Gable without. Now, doesn't he look like Danny
Clooney?
Ocean? Clooney, yes.
Yeah, Yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
Clooney-y.
Another gentleman that we can't imagine
Ooh,
without.
that was a good one. That's an iconic one. That's up there with Sam Elliott in terms of like
Yes.
iconic
iconic
level.
mustaches. You know, you have, and you know, and probably one of the best vocalists of all time, Mr. Freddie Mercury. But
Easily.
you know, in the '70s, not so cool. You know, just didn't quite. But
Stash Mercury is better.
yeah,
Going
but,
off that outfit there, that's clearly he was going through the phase everyone was though then. So
the trash
Sure.
stash is where it's at, yo.
Yeah.
That's where you go, dog.
But
Yeah.
here is a famous gentleman that until I saw these photos, I did not realize what you're about to see. Now maybe you did, and I just never saw it. But Groucho Marx
Groucho
did
Marx,
not
yeah.
have an actual mustache when he was making those films, and those are not his eyebrows. That is all paint. You can see that it's
Wow.
painted
It
on.
is. You're right.
what the hell? I had no
That's-
idea.
It's the
Neither
same
did I.
thing they did to Phil Hartman for Captain Carl.
Yeah.
It's like this painted thing. Yeah. I see it now.
But in his later
Horrible.
years, he of course did grow an actual mustache. So you know when
Right.
he was hosting whatever, I forget the name of the show he was on.
Is that where he
Game show.
twiddled the cigar like this? And would
Yeah, and he
say
had the
something
duck
silly?
came down. I forget the name of the show, and then of course this icon right here,
Oh,
Mr. Hulk Hogan and his handlebars,
oh yeah. Hulkamania, baby.
and yet another icon, the late great Lemmy Kilmister.
Oh yeah.
I don't
But-
know this guy.
But he is the
Motorhead,
the
right?
lead singer of Motorhead.
Yep.
Yes, or was the lead singer of Motorhead.
I don't
Now
even
he's-
know that band. Sorry.
If I played you a couple tunes, you'd know who it is. But
It's also
Yeah.
appeared in a few video games too, to include
Yep.
the one.
Victor Fran.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was he in that Jack Black game?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yep.
Yeah. What?
Oh, he's
Brutal
in,
Legend.
he's in the Jack
Yeah,
Black.
Brutal Legend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal Legend. Okay.
Now you never see Leonard Nimoy without, with a mustache or anything like that, unless he's evil.
Oh, the brother.
Evil Squad.
Brother, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yo.
They still went to the same barber though, I guess.
I believe they did. Yes, went to the bowl haircut barber.
Didn't all the Klingons in the original series wasn't like the only defining character for them facial hair originally?
Yeah, they basically had like
That's right.
Fu Manchu,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before like they got like that forehead
the
thing.
ridges and stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course we have this fine gentleman here, who no matter what facial hair he had, you knew it was iconic. The late great Prince.
Oh yeah,
Ah, Prince.
classy, super classy.
Classic.
And then, of course, we come to
Classic.
our last two gentlemen, and of course, we have Mr. Wilford Brimley, Mr. Diabetes himself. He is very famous mustache. I'm sure he got a lot of oatmeal on that one. And then we have, of course,
There he
Mr.
goes.
Tom Selleck.
Liberty
But
Medical.
occasionally, you do see Tom Selleck without his mustache and still looking striking, but not quite as awesome as with his mustache. But of course, like any great mustache, it comes and goes, and that is the end of our parade of mustaches.
No explosion again. No explosion.
No, I forgot to put the explosion in this week.
Johnny
Well,
wants
I gotta-
exploding mustaches.
The more
Well done,
explosions, the
Scott.
better. Hey, I got to give one honorable mention to mustaches, though.
Yes.
Vincent Price
Oh,
had a
yes.
great one,
He always
especially
had a
towards
good
the end there, like in Edward Scissorhands. That was like, that's his S-class mustache.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Eddie Murphy, can't imagine him without a moustache.
Oh,
Yeah.
it did. Oh, I forgot to put the
Eddie
picture of him
Murphy,
in this
yeah.
folder. He's not in here. He's not in here. But oh well, I think Ed will forgive me. I think he'll forgive me by the end of the show, and you'll see why.
Oh,
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the show today. But anybody watching might want to stick around to the very, 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 very end, because you are going to see what our next film will be while the outro is going.
I'm ready.
So we're going to go around the room here, and we're going to see where everybody finds themselves, where you can find our wonderful guests, and we'll start off with Mr. Dan Hadley. Where can we find you? Now I know that you just split up the shows. So where can we find you on the web, sir?
yeah, seemed like a good idea at the time. Yes, you can find me on social media as the Space Book, where I'm banging on about TV and movies, comic books, pop culture, and now and again everything that gets under my skin as the world turns to S all around us right now. So I do ramble on a little bit on Twitter and Instagram like that, but mainly I'm a content creator on YouTube and on podcasting. So I've been putting out the Type 40 Doctor Who podcasts for 5 years now with the Fandom Podcast Network. So you can get that across all major podcatchers. New episode drops in 2 days' time. And we have our live stream completely live where anything can happen and often does, Scott, because you're on it quite regularly, aren't you? So we have Type 40 Live every Thursday as well. That's 2.5 hours of Doctor Who nonsense for you there as well. So there's that on the Type 40 channel. So my old channel has been renamed, Scott. It's now just called Type 40 Doctor Who. And I've taken all the non-Doctor Who stuff and I've put that on another channel, which is just called the Space Book again. So it's a little complicated if you've been around for a while, but for anybody just coming to it, it's simple enough.
It doesn't sound complicated. We're friends with Scott, so.
So it's Type 40 for all your Doctor Who stuff on podcatchers and on YouTube and on Rumble too. And there's the Space Book where I talk about everything else. That's just on YouTube. So thanks for having me on, Scott. It's been delightful to meet you guys and to chill out and to chat about this great movie from when I was a kid. Fantastic.
Yeah. And thank you for staying up. We went on earlier, of course, because Dan is, of course, near Birmingham.
Thank you. You brought it forward earlier for me. Oh, thanks, guys. That's really cool.
And I know you said you'd come on anyway, but it's just like I know by the time you'd be getting to bed, it'd be like, oh God, I got to get up in the morning. And I'm like, no, we'll move it back a couple hours because
thank you.
It's just the best thing to do.
We didn't want you dreaming about Roadhouse either before bed, so
Right.
Of Kelly dressed in white.
Over the nightstand. Oh, John, where can we find you, sir?
First, just real quick, Dan, is the Spacebook 2 yours as well?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've called the second channel. It's called the Spacebook 2, and there's just 2 videos on there. So that the other channel was called the Spacebook, but it was pretty much all Doctor Who. So that's why I've broken it up so that people who want the Doctor Who can stay, because Doctor Who has built the channel really. Yeah. But I still like talking about all the other stuff, so I'm gradually moving it over.
I wore this in your honor, so. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you. That's very cool. Yeah, so I need all the subscribers I can get on the Spacebook too. It's like starting from scratch on there. Oh, it's hard to build up an audience.
You just got another one, my friend.
Thanks, Johnny. I'll look for you guys as well. All of you, if you're content creators or whatever else, I'll come and find you.
Sure.
I'll do my fault. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Technician, I actually wanted to tell you, I missed your loaded stream. I'm so sorry. I meant to watch it. I missed it.
It's okay. Yo,
Johnny, Are you going to stream it again? Because I absolutely love that game. I'd love to watch you and talk with you about it.
So you're segueing me like, oh yeah, it's Technish. My name's Gene Benjor. But online I'm Technish, Caps Off Gaming, all one word. And I'm a content creator too. I do a lot of playthroughs and comments. My big thing is like doing like dirty 30s.
Yeah.
This summer I've been doing first level fills, going through like first level of certain games that I really felt like the first level really ties you, like really gets you into playing the game. And I'm going to drop tomorrow actually my 13th episode podcast with me and Rob where we talk about video game music. Like video game music is influential, and then I'm gonna I'll have that up as a premiere, and I'll be on in case people want to talk and stuff like that as it's playing and everything. But see me there. I'm on Facebook too as well, and Instagram. I don't really mess with the Twitters.
Wise man.
Yeah, you better off.
I throw my links on there and I walk away.
Yeah, I really just throw links on it. I don't really engage on it. I just put it there just for that. But mainly Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube as well. So that's me right there. And then Johnny, don't worry about it, dog. Like I saw your comment. I just appreciated that you hopped on and watched it, yo. Like I'm gonna do a little bit more with that too as well. Okay.
I love that game.
When was that? Because I've been sick the past couple days.
It was just a few days ago or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's about a week ago. Was it
a week ago already?
Something like that.
I got to catch up then because I've been watching.
And I've been playing Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. So I'm dropping a playthrough tonight with the Craven level.
That's a cool game.
Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned where you can find me, but I'm just here on YouTube. Johnny Graphics on YouTube. I'm on TikTok as well, although my content on there is really more of me just complaining about what I don't like about games, and then they comment just like roasting.
$70.
Basically, yeah. Basically, just being an old man and just yelling at
Old
clouds,
man Johnny.
and Gen Z people just like roasting me. But that's fun, and I'm on YouTube. I think I mentioned this on the last time I was on here, but I'm like right near the finish line of having a really big video about all the Aliens games. Well, not every single one, but most of them. And that's a big one. I'm happy with how that's turning out. I'm gonna re-record some stuff, so it may be another week or two away, and I'm just now kind of getting everything set up here at my new house, everything. But that's the next thing. And I'm just going to try to get into a better flow with that because I like doing stuff on YouTube. It's fun. But obviously Johnny Graphics here and on TikTok, and that's about it for me. I don't engage with much else in terms of social media.
I can't wait for your PlayStation video. Remember you were doing that too?
Oh,
PlayStation.
the PlayStation series.
PlayStation 2. You were saying you were doing a
podcast
video.
Oh yeah, I'm still workshopping it in my head, but yeah, that's coming soon. PlayStation centered podcast, which hopefully everybody in here would be more than welcome to come on. I'll reach out to you guys about that when it's time, but that's a little ways off.
Okay.
Oh, Rob, what rock do you hide under, sir?
I just hide in this game house. This is it.
That looks amazing there. I'm not a gamer, but even I think that looks like the coolest place.
Yeah. If you want, you can tour. Dan, I can tag you on my video of the actual whole house if you want.
It's really cool.
I'd love to see that. I'm fascinated. Anybody that collects anything like that, even though I'm not a gamer, I'm really interested in the paraphernalia.
You probably I have just a whole wall of just Ghostbusters too. So
nice.
And then there's a lot of stuff. I'll tag you in the video, but I'm just on Facebook, and then I just mooch off everyone else's YouTube. So
mooch.
Yeah.
Stop downplaying yourself, Rob.
No mooch.
13,000.
I'm a freeloader.
13,000.
Don't be friends with me.
13,000.
The reverse psychology, man.
Yeah.
Well, Clarence,
I hope you guys have me back at some point because I've really enjoyed this. Thanks so much for the invitation,
absolutely.
Scott.
And
cool.
I have a whole list I'm going to be putting up here soon. I'll send you a list of all the movies we have coming, and if because I know you like all of us are quite busy and you have things going on too, and you have a day job, which I don't right now, except for taking care of my 4-year-old. But that's okay. She's she's worth every penny that I make. Did I say that the right way? Probably didn't. No, she's great.
We know the sentiments. Don't worry about that.
But we will. But we would definitely love to have you back on anytime.
Yeah,
soon.
that was
great.
Anytime you're ready to do it, and then you find, of course, me here on the Game Closet, acting silly, and we're going to be closing out the season here very soon. And Rob and Gene and I are going to be doing an anniversary video, second anniversary video. We're going to be doing that live, and we're just going to be going over some of the clips and stuff here, and they get to make fun of me as much as they want because I love it.
Ooh, when's that?
We're not quite sure exactly on the date because I want to make sure that I have the right time for all involved because I can do it anytime, but it's just everybody else I have to make sure.
I go back last week in August. This heads up.
Well, I'm hoping to do it within the next 2 to 3 weeks, but hopefully within the next 2 weeks. And I will be saying this. I've mentioned it to Rob before. I'm also going to be, I'm not going to be doing it myself. I'm going to be pointing everything toward a specific charity because, people might be tuning in, but, hey, if we can do a little bit of good, why not? And I can say, hey, here's this, I'm going to say what charity it is, but here's this charity, here's their link, go throw some cash their way because you're going to be helping a lot of people. Like so. But anyway, with that said, y'all hang on just for a couple seconds and you'll get to see what's coming up, and then I'll talk to you momentarily.
Okay.
All right. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I want
everybody.
To see a surprise.
Everybody,
so.
thanks for tuning in, and have a good night. We'll see you on Video Vault Live very soon.
Hell yeah.